Hello, my fellow movie fans. Have you ever seen a trailer that got your attention, only for the movie to be nothing like you expected? In some cases, it's almost like the advertising team didn't even watch what they were advertising. So for this top 10 list, we are looking at top 10 misleading movie trailers. Please note that in some cases it was actually justified, as it helps make the movie more of a surprise, but in others it feels like false advertising. Anyways, let's begin. Also, some spoilers, be warned. Red Eye. The reason it's so low on the list is because the trailer is only really misleading at one point. The trailer shows our main character, played by Rachel McAdams, is boarding a commercial plane and meets a seemingly nice guy on the plane, played by Cillian Murray, and they seem to hit it off. But then, it turns out that our heroine isn't actually going to be spending her flight time with a charming nice guy, but is instead stuck with an evil, murderous, demonic sociopath. The actual movie? Everything I just said, minus the demonic part. Yeah. Although Jackson Ripner, get it, is indeed an evil scumbag, he's not a demon or anything like that. Just a manipulative killer, though he can't be worse than sitting next to a crying baby. The red glowing eye in the trailer gives off the impression that there's something inhuman about him, when in the actual movie he's just a normal human. Not sure why the trailers tried to imply there was some kind of supernatural horror going on. The fact that Wes Craven's name shows up in the trailer doesn't help. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. The use of Mr. Blue Sky by L.O., and the fact that it has some pretty goofy imagery throughout the trailer. Also, the fact that it stars Jim Carrey helps. When in actuality, damn is this trailer misleading. The movie, although it has its funny moments, is mostly a dramatic movie. Not to mention it deals with some pretty heavy themes. The reason it's low on the list is because it at least tells what the story is correctly. A man erasing his memories because of a girl and then so forth. Lady in the Water. From the trailers, a horror movie about terrifying creatures coming from the deep attacking unsuspecting victims, while a pale woman from the same world as them gives messages. It also doesn't help that the title of the movie sounds spooky. The actual movie? I'm not sure, but it ain't a horror film. It's a fantasy romance drama film about a narf who ends up in a pool and grass wolves attack her, and cereal box helps see the future, and a guy automatically leaves her in crossword puzzles, and I don't know what non Shyamalan Ding Dong was on when he made this. Anyways, it's a romantic drama between a narf and a man, not a horror. Kangaroo Jack. A talking, rapping kangaroo steals two guys' money, and a wild goose chase ensues. The actual movie, they put a jacket on the kangaroo and it has the money in it and it runs off. The kangaroo doesn't talk or rap, the only part is in a dream sequence. Also, the trailer has a shot of him in the jacket before the main characters meet him in the trailer, making him seem anthropomorphic. He only got the jacket once they put it on him after he got knocked out. Also, the movie is more adult-oriented than the trailers would lead you to believe. Godzilla is causing destruction and mayhem and terror, and it's up to our main character to stop this destructible foe from wiping out the human race. Walter White versus Godzilla. In reality, Bryan Cranston's character dies within the first 10 minutes of the movie, leaving Aaron Taylor Johnson as the protagonist. Also, Godzilla isn't the main antagonist of the movie, as the trailers would lead you to believe. Instead, it's these creatures called the Mutos. In fact, Godzilla is kind of a hero in this movie. It's worth noting that the sequel was a little bit more honest about itself in the trailers. Better watch out! What happens when you take Home Alone and up the violence and edge? You get Better Watch Out. Or at least the trailers would lead you to believe that. A movie where a group of kids defend their home from intruders in brutal ways. Except it's not. The actual movie, although it does try to trick you into thinking that in the beginning, the actual movie is about an evil, messed up kid who holds his babysitter hostage because he's horny for her and murders people like her exes, and yeah, this cesspool of hormones has issues. Though in the case of this, it might have been the people who worked on the movie telling the marketing team to make it more of a surprise. Megamind. Based on the trailers alone, this movie seems to be about a long rivalry between a superhero and an alien supervillain. Although the trailers make it seem like this movie will be the closest thing to a film adaptation of Spy vs. Spy, in the actual movie, Megamind seemingly defeats Metro Moran pretty early on in the movie, and the rest of the movie is pretty much a now what question if the villain won. A lot of stuff happens from there, like him realizing that having the whole city under his control kinda sucks, eventually falling for a girl, and trying to make a new superhero. The movie works quite well, but it's not really what the trailers would imply. Observe and report. From the trailers, you'd think that this is a goofy slapstick film. Prepare for wacky hijinks and groin shots, boys and girls. What's the actual movie like? It's dark and kinda disturbing. It's still a comedy, but not in the way of a quirky, goofy guy doing silly things, but a dark story about a man with mental illness whose disregard for people around him often causes serious problems. It's not even slapstick violence, it's more like bone-crunching violence. Also, there's themes of drug abuse, and a scene that may or may not have gone too far. That involves a drink and getting too drunk. But yeah, the movie goes pretty dark places, especially if you assumed the R rating was only due to weed and sex jokes. Drive, an action-packed thrill ride, where Ryan Gosling shoots, flips cars, blows shit up, and makes out with hot chicks. Pretty much a Fast and Furious movie. But in reality, the movie is a mostly slow-moving movie, with lots of thoughts of life and silence. It does feature 2 action moments, but it's not really what the movie is like for the most part. With not a lot of dialogue and long music sequences, some woman attempted to sue the studio for false advertising. I guess some of the other trailers might be more misleading, but this fact brings it up to number 2, even though it was kind of dumb of the lady to do that, especially since there's one more really misleading movie trailer. Sweeney Todd. Never once does the trailer hint of this being a musical. The original Star Wars movie, aka A New Hope. It's kinda hard to say what the original trailer implies, but it doesn't really give the impression that it's a space action adventure. Passengers. The trailer leaves out that Chris Pratt unfroze Jennifer Lawrence, and this rustled a lot of people's jimmies, as the trailer made him look a lot more innocent than he actually was. SpongeBob, sponge out of water. The trailer mostly focuses on the CGI parts, even though it's mostly a hand-drawn animated film. Rules of Attraction really downplays the dark, screwed-up parts in favor of the humor. Anyways, on to number 1. Bridge to Terabithia. The trailers make it look like a Narnia-type fantasy adventure. The actual film? Far from it. It's a down-to-earth drama film about the life and friendship of 2 kids, and one of them dies near the end. The fantasy sequences were just a few scenes in the kids' imaginations. Because of this, the movie didn't do that well. Fans of the book thought it was nothing like the book based on the trailers, and kids excited to see an epic fantasy adventure were kinda bored. Why would they do this? Why? Why? And that is why Bridge to Terabithia is the number 1 most misleading movie trailer. This is Jake, signing out.